Hey guys, welcome to the ICD10-PCS Coding Series. If you are new to the channel, subscribe and follow the playlist from the beginning so that you understand all the root operations thoroughly. This is part 35 of the Inpatient Coding Series, and today we will learn about the root operation occlusion from Group 5 of the Medical and Surgical section in ICD10-PCS. I'm Vinay Kumar. I carry an overall experience of more than 20 years of US healthcare industry experience in both coding, auditing, training, and mentoring. I have helped many people in gaining knowledge and also preparing for their medical coding certifications. I'm dual certified from both AHIMA and AAPC with extensive knowledge in all the verticals of the revenue cycle management. At the end of this learning session today, we will have a better understanding of the coding the root operation occlusion from the fifth group of root operations. We will also look at an example of coding from the medical and surgical section. And remember, the medical and surgical section is the most important and the biggest section in ICD-10 PCS. As you all know, there are 31 root operations in ICD-10-PCS, specifically in the medical and surgical section, and these root operations are divided into 9 groups based on similar attributes of surgical procedures. Today, we are looking at the fifth group, which talks about root operations that alter the diameter or route or a tube of a tubular body part. So we are basically talking about procedures that are done on tubular body parts. There are 4 root operations in this group: restriction, occlusion, dilation, and bypass. And today we are looking at occlusion, which carries a character value of L. Root operations are the most important aspect of building an ICD-10 PCS code. Remember that root operations always define the objective or the goal of the procedure. So always read the definitions of the root operations and compare them to the procedure performed so that you'll get the correct root operation when you're coding. Now, the root operation occlusion is defined as completely closing an orifice or the lumen of a tubular body part. The orifice can be a natural orifice or an artificially created orifice, such as a stoma. Okay, the difference in restriction and occlusion, you'll need to know this one. Okay, so basically, restriction is partially closing the orifice or lumen of a tubular body part, whereas the root operation occlusion is coded when the orifice is closed completely. Okay, so complete closure is occlusion, partial closure is restriction. This is something you'll need to remember when you're coding this root operation. Now, these are examples of procedures that are coded under the root operation occlusion. Bilateral tubal ligation with Hulka clips, ligation of esophageal vein, embolization of internal carotid cavernous fistula, embolization of vascular supply to intracranial meningioma, embolization of uterine artery, banding of esophageal varices, and banding of hemorrhoids. These are examples of occlusion as the root operation. Again, now, another important point you need to remember. Intraluminar or extraluminal clips are frequently used to accomplish the objectives of restriction and occlusion root operations or procedures. You need to review carefully the operative report to understand what kind of clips were used. If these clips are left inside after the procedure in which the appropriate device value should be selected. Okay, for the sixth character. However, if the clips are not left inside, then the procedure is coded as no device. You have to research the procedure, the technique of the procedure carefully to identify if at all any clips have been placed inside or not. Okay, again, remember occlusion is complete closure and restriction is partial closure of the lumen of the body part. Now, it is always helpful to research the surgical procedure performed to assist with the understanding of this root operation occlusion. Okay, for example, a fallopian tube ligation. This involves cutting and sealing the tubes to prevent pregnancy. That's the basic procedure. Now, there are different or several different ways to accomplish this tubal ligation, including placement of sutures, clips, or rings. Now, if the procedure is performed with electrocoagulation or cauterization, then this procedure should be coded to the root operation destruction and should not be coded as occlusion. Okay, and also research on the way the rings and clips are applied. This will help with information about the types of devices. So remember, if it is cauterization for tubal ligation, then the root operation should be destruction. Otherwise, you can code it as occlusion as the root operation. Now, this is an example of coding the root operation occlusion. Laparoscopy with bilateral occlusion of fallopian tubes using extraluminal clips. Now, in this case, the first character is 0 for the medical and surgical section. Second character is U for the body system, which is female reproductive system. Third character is L for the root operation of occlusion. For the body part, fourth character, since the procedure is done bilaterally and there is a bilateral body part value, we will select 7 fallopian tubes bilateral as the body part value. And for the fifth character, the approach is percutaneous endoscopic because the procedure was done using a laparoscope. If a procedure is done using a laparoscope, you always code it as percutaneous endoscopic as the approach. Remember this. And the sixth character is extraluminal device since extraluminal clips were placed. And the seventh character is Z, which is for no qualifier. So the code for the laparoscopy with bilateral occlusion of fallopian tubes is 0, U, L, 7, 4, C, and Z. So the key points that you need to remember from this video. If the objective of an embolization procedure is to completely close a vessel, the root operation occlusion is coded. However, if the objective of an embolization procedure is to narrow the lumen of a vessel, then the root operation is restriction. So restriction and occlusion are very close enough. You need to be careful when you are coding these two root operations. You'll find the online version of the ICD-10-PCS coding manual here from this link. This link is also available in the description of the video. Once you get to this link, click on the zip file which contains the code tables and index so that you'll get the PDF for coding. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel and support so that I can make more videos and be encouraged. I really hope these videos help everyone in learning ICD-10-PCS. I'll also do a lot of videos on ICD-10-CM and CPT as well going forward. I'll cover all the coding systems. Thank you.